Joseph Parker will be fighting Oleksandr Usyk next, according to the WBO. Welcome back to another episode of the Squared Circle with your boy, Joe Orgula. David's away right now, so he couldn't make the video, but wow, great news if you're a Joseph Parker fan. Fighting Oleksandr Usyk next for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the world. Great news. I think Joseph Parker might be the most deserving fighter in boxing right now for a world title. Who deserves a world title shot more than Joseph Parker? Look, he's fought in his last 3 fights the boogeyman. Each fight that he's taken on in his last 3 fights has been a boogeyman of the heavyweight division. Deontay Wilder, a notorious boogeyman in the heavyweight division for such a long time. Zhilai Zhang, another boogeyman in the heavyweight division who is knocking and stopping people quite consistently. And, of course, recently knocking out Martin Bakole, the current boogeyman in the heavyweight division, which Joseph Parker, slain once again. And I think Parker's such a nice gentleman. I've bumped into Parker a few times in Riyadh and just said hello to him. And he's never been nothing but nice, respectful, and treats people the way you want to be treated, right? So I can't think of anyone more deserving in terms of merit in the ring and outside the ring than Joseph Parker. I'm so happy for the guy. I think he's such a great guy. And I think my only concern for Joseph Parker is, besides the fact he's taken on probably one of the greatest fighters of our generation, in Oleksandr Usyk, is also, will he get that chance to fight Usyk next? Will it be Usyk next? That's the real question, because there have been fighters in the past who have agreed to step-aside deals and fight the winner next. For example, one example that hits top of my head is Jack Catterall versus Josh Taylor, where Jack Catterall agreed a step-aside deal to fight Josh Taylor next for Undisputed. And Josh Taylor, I think it was after the Ramirez fight where Josh Taylor became Undisputed, and then it was meant to be Jack Catterall next. And I think Jack Catterall didn't get the chance to fight him next. Or he did, I'm pretty sure. I think he did, actually. But that's a good example where Joseph Parker could do the same thing. Allow Daniel Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk fight next, and Joseph Parker can take a step-aside deal as well as Undisputed. Which in my eyes would be a great idea if I'm a Joseph Parker fan, or I'm Joseph Parker himself. But I do think that Joseph Parker should fight Oleksandr Usyk because, look, right now you're probably top 3, top 4 in the world right now. And I think you should definitely put your skills to the test to see how good you really are. Now, we know Joseph Parker's great. His partnership and brotherhood with Andy Lee might be the best duo in terms of trainer and fighter we have in the world right now. They were one hell of a run. And I would fight Oleksandr Usyk. I think Joseph Parker's confident. I don't think Joseph Parker has ever ducked a challenge. That's one thing you respect about Parker. It's for everyone that there is to fight on paper, given to him, of course. And I just wonder whether he will take a step-side deal, because I think, look, I've spoken to some people outside of the channel, and friends, family, etc. They feel that Joseph Parker should take this fight, and he's going to lose a lot of fans if he doesn't. I disagree. I think especially fans of New Zealand idolize, respect, and look up to Joseph Parker. I know I do, and I'm not even from there, so I don't think people will be very angry if Joseph Parker took a step-side deal. But Joseph Parker might think, step-side deal? Why the hell would I take a step-side deal? I want those belts. I want that smoke. And I hope he does, because we'll see a great fight. Of course, Joseph Parker was meant to fight Daniel Dubois next, and Daniel Dubois pulled out due to illness. Will he want Daniel Dubois just because he might think Daniel Dubois was avoiding him? You never know. You know what I mean? And I just think Joseph Parker, it's time now. It's time that he deserves another shot at the heavyweight title. Since losing, I think it was the WBA or the WBO against Anthony Joshua. I feel like it was the WBA. And, losing WBA to Anthony Joshua, he's been hungry. He's been a one hell of a journey. And it's funny how comebacks really are a thing of power, because if you go back to the fight where he lost against Joe Joyce and got knocked out by Joe Joyce quite devastatingly as well, you would never think Joseph Parker would be in this position right now. And then that shows determination, believing in yourself, hard work, biting down on the gumshoe metaphorically, um, pays off. And Joseph Parker put the hard work in. If you want to see how to deal with an L and come back on top, you look at Joseph Parker's run. And I really do hope he becomes heavyweight champion of the world. I would love for him to become heavyweight champion. I think he deserves it more than anyone in boxing right now. Now, if Joseph Parker doesn't fight for a heavyweight title next, which he definitely should in my opinion, who does he fight? Riyadh season have been doing him a bit dirty, giving him challenge after challenge after challenge with the fights I've mentioned, right? And I think he deserves a bit of not a warm-up fight, but a respectable opponent where he will sharpen his tools against and also take a challenge, but as well as a chance for him to be ready for the big one, if he doesn't take the big one next, of course, right? And I'm just thinking top of my head who will be respectable. I think maybe I'd like to see him fight Dillian Whyte again. I know a lot of people are going to say, look, Dillian Whyte, how can you say Dillian Whyte when Dillian Whyte hasn't been active? So on and so forth. Look, they have history. And Dillian Whyte, I want Dillian Whyte to be in the Riyadh season as well. So I'd like to see him fight Dillian Whyte, for example. Maybe Fabio Wardley will be a great shout. I think Fabio Wardley will be a fantastic shout as well, where Joseph Parker will be the favourite, but also be a challenge for Joseph Parker. Now, if you take away the argument of giving Parker a fight where he'll warm up in and put him up against another fight, which I do think will be unfair. I do think Riyadh season have been treating him unfairly. I would put him up against Ajit Cabello. I think that's one of the best fights in the heavyweight division. I think Ajit Cabello, Joseph Parker, stylistically, will be such a great fight. Great fight. I've been calling this fight for years now. Since Cabello stopped Makhmudov and Joseph Parker's run as well, I think that fight makes so much sense. But there's nothing on the line for it instead of the risk to reward ratio rather isn't worth it in my opinion. But as a fan, I would love to see that fight. And I do feel sorry for Joseph Parker because they've been treating him unfairly. Because look, you are meant to fight Daniel Dubois for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. You're meant to fight for a heavyweight shot. That was your title. That you could have won it, and I thought Joseph Parker had a great chance of winning it, right? And Daniel Dubois pulls out, and you fight Martin Bakole at the time, the big man of the division, and everyone was excited, everyone was happy. And although it saved the card in terms of the excitement for the card, it was also unfair on Joseph Parker. Like, Joseph Parker has been training for one fight for a world title, and then next minute you have to, rearrange your style for Martin Bakole rather, sorry. And it must be frustrating. I'd be pissed off of Joseph Parker, but fair play to him, because Joseph Parker said, I want this fight. And when Joseph Parker was talking about his reaction to fighting Bakole, you can see the aggression in him, and it only foreshadowed what happened. So I respect Joseph Parker a lot. I admire Joseph Parker. I want Joseph Parker to be a world champion. And Parker's probably one of the most lovable fighters out there. How can you hate Joseph Parker? How can you hate Joseph Parker? Gentleman and everything. So I do think that if he can't get the world title shot, fight Cabello next. But then again, why should he fight Cabello? And I'd love to see what Andy Lee Wiley, his team say about this. Do they go for Oleksandr Usyk? Do they push the Oleksandr Usyk fight? Or do they fight on the side knowing that they have a guaranteed fight next? Because if I'm taking Stepside, there's three things. Money, a guarantee I fight the winner, and the winner does not vacate any of the titles. Has to be for undisputed. So we'll see. Look, also Sky Sports reported today that Daniel Dubois, Oleksandr Usyk might fight in Wembley. Turki Al-Sheikh said, good job in trying that, meaning that that's not going to happen in his eyes. It looks like Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois is the preferred fight for Turki Al-Sheikh. Once again, being unfair on Parker in my opinion, but look, it makes sense because it's for the undisputed. But whoever wins that fight has to fight Joseph Parker next. Has to. I'd love to see what Joseph Parker says. I think he's with Queensberry right now, so it'd be nice. Frank Warren did say last night that there is a deal in place for Joseph Parker's next fight. Against who? Not quite sure. We'll see. We'll see who it'll be. I just hope Parker gets what he deserves. Either gets a lot of money or he gets that world title shot. But let me know what you guys think. Who does Joseph Parker fight next? And should he take a Stepside deal, make sure he gets extra money and fights the mandatory fights the winner for the Undisputed Championship of the World, making sure the winner does not vacate? Let me know in the comments. Also, please make sure you subscribe and follow the channel because it helps the channel and it supports myself and David, and we can continue giving you great content. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on another video. Peace out, guys. Take care.